Welcome to this presentation. Data Dynamo has been looking into the Indian economy, and in this presentation we will look into the demographic bulge, jobs, and what the states of India should do. I'm Ramachandran, Ramach, and today is the 31st of January 2018, a day before the budget. The Indian economy. Data Dynamo has now a very thorough understanding of the structure, resilience, and growth of the Indian economy, the districts, and the state's economy. The states of India determine the stability, the size, the speed, and the surge of the economy. States are the engines of the economy. Governance by the state governments impacts gross value addition, GVA, incomes, employment, and jobs. We need to focus on this presentation in the context of GVA, employment, and jobs. In this context, employment and jobs are not the same, though both cause gross value addition and incomes. Coaches and wagons too. States are the coaches and wagons too. Governance by the state governments impacts throughput, gross value addition, human capital, and gross capital deployed. The government of India determines the base. It provides the track. Everything else comes from the states. Gross value addition. GVA and employment are directly related. Employment includes self-employment and working for others, working for other employers. The latter is a source of jobs. When you work for yourself, you're self-employed, you still earn incomes. When you work for others, you are employed, that's called a job, you still earn incomes. Why GVA? GVA is a source of all incomes, wages, purchasing power, consumer spending, saving, and above all, the magnitude of goods and service tax, GST, that accrues to states. So GVA is very important both for households and the state governments. Employment in GVA. GVA and employment per thousand households vary across the states. They're different across the states. GVA and employment per thousand households follow a pattern within an agroclimatic zone. However, variability of GVA within an agroclimatic zone is determined by the state governments. GVA and employment per thousand households follow a pattern within an agroclimatic zone. However, the variance of GVA within an ACZ is determined by the states. So we need to separate states into outperformers and underperformers. GVA outperformers. GVA outperformance is a result of how states govern their internal economy. Some states have multiple ACZs within them. Outperforming states outperform in almost each of these ACZs. So governance shows across all the ACZs within that state. Similarly, GVA underperformance is the result of untapped internal human resource potential. Some states have multiple ACZs within them. Underperforming states underperform in almost each of these agroclimatic zones. So underperformance and outperformance can both be traced to the quality of governance provided by the state government. GVA's determinants. It's normal and fashionable to focus on trade, exports, manufacturing exports, service exports, infrastructure, and capital inflows. However, we need to look elsewhere, the non-tradables. Non-tradables determine GVA, median incomes of households, purchasing power, jobs, and above all, capital invested within a district and within a state. And what are these non-tradables? We'll see them right away. Non-tradables are goods and services produced and consumed within a district and therefore within a state. They're produced and consumed within a district. They need to be consumed that way. They can't be exported. The dosa made in Mangalore can't be consumed in Jaipur. That's the way to see it. So where's the data coming from? India 600. Thank you, India 600. India 600 is a solid and reliable database produced by Kannan and Somasundaram since 1999. This database includes the index of economic activity of every district of India and therefore of every state of India. The index of economic activity of a district tells you about the structure of economic activity in that district and gives relative weights to agriculture, manufacturing, construction, retailing, wholesaling, transportation, and other components. Non-tradable IEA. Non-tradable IEA is a measure of how much value is simultaneously created and consumed within a district of India and within a state. And what are the components of non-tradable IEA? Healthcare, education, bakeries, eateries, tourism, retailing, and above all, the big one, construction of homes. If you need to construct a home in Bhopal, you need to construct it there. The value creation and the value capture both occur in Bhopal. The plumber, the carpenter, the mason, they're all getting paid in Bhopal. You may buy the inputs from elsewhere, but the value addition takes place within Bhopal. The big consumers. The biggest consumers of non-tradables within a district of India and within a state, therefore, are those that derive their incomes from agriculture. Agriculture determines the strength of the non-tradable sector in India. India 600's data show a strong relationship between non-tradable IEA and agriculture IEA. And what about non-tradables themselves? They are the biggest employers. Producers of non-tradables are the most significant causes and sources of employment and jobs within a district of India and within a state. Therefore, the state list matters. When you look at what happens within a district, the association between non-tradables and tradables, the association between non-tradables and gross value add, and the association between non-tradables and jobs created, we understand that what happens within a state matters the most. Therefore, local government, public order, public health and hospitals, and agriculture, which is a big consumer of non-tradables, and water matter a whole lot. Let me add electricity, education, and trade unions, which belong to the concurrent list. Together, these components of governance control and determine what happens within a district and therefore within a state. And therefore the vulnerability. Non-tradables depend on the creation of value, the consumption of value, and the capture of value within a locale. Unlike a manufacturing plant which can move, non-tradables can't move. Therefore, if there is any economic impairment or hostility within a district, those non-tradables suffer. There's no place to go. An economically impaired and a hostile district adversely affects non-tradables. And what about the collateral benefits? We have examined the vulnerability. Now let's look at the benefits. India 600's data on the structure of economic activity show a strong relationship between non-tradable IEA and manufacturing and between non-tradable IEA and exports. Very clearly, both manufacturing and exports take place in those districts where the strength of the non-tradable IEA is very high. And there's collateral logic to this. Both manufacturing and exports are tradables. They can unbundle value creation, value consumption, and value capture. However, when you consider value creation, It's far more reliable and cost efficient to cite the value creation where non-tradables flourish. This has a big message for the state governments, therefore. States that focus on non-tradables will create millions of jobs. The responsibility to create the millions of jobs will have to be with the states, and they will have to begin to focus on the non-tradables. States that focus on non-tradables will attract human capital, technology, and financial capital. The economic surge then. The power and the responsibility to transform India's demographic bulge into an economic surge is with the states. And let's listen to this chief minister. Bengal means business, so every state now has to mean business. Thank you for your patience. This has been a presentation from Data Dynamo.